Question 1. What are process variables in Appian, and how do you use them? Process variables store data within a process model and can be used to pass information between different nodes in the workflow. I use them to keep track of user input, calculation results, and integration outputs, ensuring that each step in the process has the necessary data to execute properly. Process variables can be global or local, depending on their scope within the process. They are essential in dynamic workflows where data needs to be transferred between various tasks, rules, and expressions. Question 2. How do you handle exceptions in Appian process models? Handling exceptions in Appian process models involves using exception flows and error events to manage unexpected issues. For example, if an integration fails, I can use an exception flow to capture the error and define an alternative path, like notifying a user or retrying the integration. I also use error events on individual nodes, such as user tasks or service calls, to handle specific errors without interrupting the entire process. This ensures that the process can continue running smoothly even when errors occur. Question 3. How do you manage task escalation in Appian process models? In Appian, task escalation is managed using escalation timers and exception flows. If a task is overdue, I configure escalation rules that automatically notify supervisors, reassign the task, or send reminders to the responsible user. I can also configure exception events to handle tasks that fail or get stuck, ensuring the process flow continues without manual intervention. Question 4. What is an Appian decision object, and how is it used? An Appian decision object allows you to centralize complex business logic and decision-making processes. It acts like a decision table or set of conditional rules that help determine the path a workflow should take. For instance, I can use a decision object to evaluate variables such as customer tier, location, or product type and automatically select the correct action. This object is reusable across multiple process models and interfaces, making the application more consistent and easier to maintain. Question 5. How do you optimize queries in Appian for performance? I optimize queries in Appian by retrieving only the required fields instead of selecting all columns. I apply filters at the database level to reduce the amount of data being processed. Paging is another important technique, where I load data in chunks, reducing memory usage and improving interface responsiveness. Additionally, I ensure that proper indexing is set up in the underlying database to speed up retrieval times. Question 6. How do you handle file uploads in Appian? In Appian, I use the file upload component within interfaces to handle file uploads. The uploaded files are stored in Appian's document management system, where I can apply security settings to control who can view or modify the files. I can also categorize and tag files for easier retrieval later. When handling sensitive data, I configure encryption to ensure security in transit and storage. Question 7. Can you explain the use of timers in Appian process models? Timers in Appian are used to control the timing of processes, either by introducing delays or by triggering specific actions after a set time. For example, I can use a timer to delay the execution of a task for a certain period, or I can set a recurring timer to periodically check a condition. Timers are also useful for escalating tasks that haven't been completed within a set time frame. Question 8. What is the difference between Appian's record type and report? A record type in Appian represents data from an external source, like a database or API, and provides a structured way to display and interact with that data. It is commonly used for displaying lists of records or detailed views of individual records. A report, on the other hand, is focused on summarizing and visualizing aggregated data. Reports are used for monitoring trends or KPIs, often including charts, graphs, and data summaries. Question 9. What is the role of expression rules in Appian? Expression rules are reusable blocks of logic in Appian that can perform calculations, data manipulation, or evaluations based on inputs. I use them to centralize common logic, making it easier to maintain and update applications. For example, I might write an expression rule to calculate the total cost based on input values, and this rule can then be reused across multiple interfaces or process models. Question 10. How do you manage user authentication in Appian? Appian supports several authentication methods, such as LDAP, SAML, and OAuth, depending on an organization's security policies. I configure these authentication protocols to ensure secure access to the platform. Additionally, I implement role-based access control, RBAC, to manage what users can access and perform within the application. For external systems, OAuth is often used to secure API connections. Question 11. What are data stores in Appian? Data stores in Appian map CDTs to database tables, allowing Appian to perform CRUD, create, read, update, delete operations on the underlying data. Data stores are the connection point between Appian applications and the database, enabling efficient data management through process models, interfaces, and record types. They also allow me to control how data is queried, updated, or deleted. Question 12. How do you manage user permissions and access control in Appian applications? In Appian, I manage user permissions and access control through role-based access and object-level security settings. For each user or group, I assign specific roles such as viewer, editor, or administrator, which dictate what actions they can perform within the application. Appian objects like records, process models, and documents each have their own security settings that restrict access based on user roles. Additionally, I configure custom security rules to dynamically assign access based on business logic, ensuring that sensitive data is only available to authorized users. Question 13. What is the role of process reports in Appian? Process reports in Appian provide insights into the status and performance of active and completed process models. They allow me to track task completion, identify bottlenecks, and measure efficiency in workflows. I can create custom reports to display key metrics like task duration, completion rate, or user activity, helping stakeholders monitor progress and make informed decisions. That's it for today's video. I hope these questions and answers help you feel more prepared for your Appian Developer interview. Remember, practice is key, so make sure you go over these questions a few times before your interview. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. And feel free to leave any questions you have in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your interview.